the leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome to
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so.
Welcome to the Red State Town program. I'm your host, Primo Maldoni, and my co-host, Ken Brown, will join me in a couple of minutes. Please visit the show's website at redstatetownhall.com. While you're there, be sure to like us on both Facebook and Twitter. Which contact us, the email address is primo, P-R-E-M-O, at redstatetownhall.com. Our show is broadcast here on Red State Talk Radio, America's premier grassroots conservative internet talk radio network. The show is also syndicated through iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podomatic, TalkStream Live, Player.fm, Roku, and at least a dozen other websites. You can listen to the station using their Android, iPhone, and BlackBerry apps. Visit the station's website, redstatetalkradio.com, to download the appropriate app for your smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, you can listen using any phone on the station's 24/7 listener line, provided by TalkStream Live by dialing the following. For Studio A, 605-562-4209, and for Studio B, 518-712-0045. Before we start the show, let's give a shout-out to our AM, FM, and digital affiliates, WDDQ, FM 92.1, Adel, Georgia, WSFB, 1490 AM, Talk 97.7 FM, Quitman, Georgia, WJMW, AM 1650, Herman's, Tennessee, Talk Radio, AM 1620, KTFL, Gilbert, Arizona, WMQL, Radio FM 105.5, Brevard, North Carolina, Kaufman County Talk Radio, AM 1680, KCTR, Terrell, Texas, Tax Pro Radio, Gainesville, Georgia, WCNR Digital, West Virginia, and K98Talk.com. Now let's bring on my co-host from Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Ken Brown. Mr. Brown, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing a lot better than the guy in that movie I saw last night.
The Revenant? Yeah. Yeah, that was. I saw it on Thursday night, and you saw it this weekend, I guess last night, whatever. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, DiCaprio deserves the Academy Award just for surviving the film shoot.
I was tired and hurting. I mean, just watching that movie. Whew.
Yeah, I'm still trying to decide if that bear attack was CGI, real, or a combination of both. Probably a combination of both.
Well, that was disturbing. Put it that way. That was, whew, I'm telling you, makes you glad you didn't live back in that time.
Yeah, it was like I was talking to someone else, and I told you too. I said, "Boy, what a rough life our pioneer fathers had getting across the country and taming this,
living off the land." And
oh my God, just unbelievable. And when you see movies like this, you realize that people didn't take their baths very often back in those days. And man, the stink, I can imagine. And
well, just that aside, just dealing with the weather. If you're living in the northern states and those winters and living off, I mean, just trying to survive, but the weather itself was just atrocious.
Yeah,
I like a fireplace. I like I like my heat. I can just turn it up and turn it down.
Yeah, and the insulation is a nice thing because most of these places these people lived in were just nothing but shacks, and
yeah.
And of course, you were lucky to be in one of those, but.
Someplace to break the wind, I guess, was.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen The Revenant, you should probably go. If you just want to get an appreciation for what our
what you have now.
What you have now, yeah. If you just want to appreciate, you think your life sucks now. You should
check that out.
Watch this movie, and you will appreciate just the simple things of heat and air, electricity, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, good Lord, what and I mean, just it's actually some of the movie was hard to believe because there were several times the people were in the water in the winter, and hypothermia would set in, and if you don't get warmed up pretty quick, you're going to die. And just amazing, just amazing. Well, let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, quite a bit to cover, like always.
Interesting week with the debate and no Trump and new polls and.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Let's get a couple other stories out real quick before we forget them. This situation at the JFK Airport in New York. New York Daily News is reporting that, and again, a flight that came from, pretty sure from Mexico City, allowed passengers arriving on this international flight to exit without having to go through customs. And this is the second time this has happened. And what wound up happening was the airline, I think it was American Airlines, pretty sure. American Airlines was sitting there having to contact these people after they had left and try to get them to come back in and go through customs that they'd already left the airport when they discovered what they had done wrong. And my question, Ken, we talked about this briefly before the show started. How the hell could this even possibly happen?
I was telling you, I've been through customs several times, and when I was out of the country, came back, and it's really, I mean, there's no room for error. They line you up, and you go in this room, you go in that room, and you get in this line, that line, and there's no deviation. I'm shocked, really.
Well, the only thing that makes sense to me is because I've never been out of the country like that, so I mean I don't know specifically, but as you well know, I used to be married to a woman who was outside the country, had to come back in all the time. And, of course, it was an international flight. And the thing was that every single time, I mean, all the international terminals are on one part of the airport. And they do that so that, you know, after you exit the airplane, you have nowhere to go but through customs, you know, kind of thing. And I'm guessing that somehow this plane was directed to the wrong gate, either the wrong gate or all the international flight gates were booked and were filled, and they had to go to an alternative gate. And there should have been someone from the TSA at that gate to direct him back to customs, and apparently that did not get done. I mean, I don't know for sure which gate they were in, but it has to be something along those lines, because if they were on any international gate, there's normally not a way to even get out. I mean, they got you kind of hemmed up, you know, kind of thing.
That's true.
So, I don't know, but I tell you what, there's no telling who came in on that international flight. We have no idea. I mean, we do kind of know at least what name was on the ticket, but other than that, we don't know anything. And the reality is, like I told you, I don't have a whole lot of respect or confidence in the TSA anyway, because we've had this installed now since 9/11. This is one of the things that was done. And besides being a big pain in the butt, having to take your shoes off and do all this other crazy stuff, even on domestic flights, do you know, Ken, the number of terrorists that have been caught by the TSA through all this screening process that we have now?
Mm-mm.
The total number of terrorists caught by the TSA throughout like over 10 years, it's been more than 10 years, 0.
Mm.
So my question is, why the hell are we doing this? If they can't find one, and here's the thing, are you telling me a terrorist has not come through on an international flight since 9/11? Not one has come through? I doubt that. But the fact that they haven't found at least one of them, then what's the point?
They should have caught that female that went into California.
Well, yeah, but, you know, there's definitely holes in the system, and the terrorists know these things. I mean, trust me, they send people in and out all the time testing us. And we don't have enough sense or enough people to figure this stuff out and to catch these guys. I just know that we need to take lessons from the Israelis on how to do this. They catch people all the time. That's because they know what the hell they're doing. And I guarantee you they don't have politically correct procedures.
Of course not.
When you're Israel and you're right in the middle of hell on earth, and everybody around you wants to kill you, you don't have time for political correctness. You can't afford that. So, anyway. But anyway, JFK needs to get their crap together and fix this problem. This is twice as happened in the past couple of months. So, okay, one other story I want to bring up quickly, and it kind of leads into what we're going to talk about mostly about politics and the presidential race and the debate, is Trey Gowdy was quoted by the Daily Caller as saying that his investigation will be wrapping up in the next couple of months, and that there are eye-opening and surprising results that are coming from this Benghazi investigation. And the reality is, Ken, already the Benghazi investigation that he's been chairing has turned up all kinds of stuff that all the other investigations didn't find. So it makes you ask the question of what the hell were all these other people doing? They were just whitewash investigations to clear Hillary Clinton. nobody apparently wanted to get to the truth on some of this stuff, because almost everything that has come out about Benghazi has come through this investigation. And it will be interesting to see what the final report says. Whether or not it's going to affect anything, I don't know, because the way things work in this country, unfortunately. As we've said before, Ken, there are rules for us and rules for them. And so far, she's been able to get away with everything. But that may not be true now.
I hope not.
What's up?
I still trust to some extent in the system that if somebody does wrong and it's so blatantly wrong that that they'll get their just rewards. But if this woman can stay in this race without being indicted, then there's something wrong. And not just a little wrong, it's bad wrong with this country.
True. Let's move on to the debate. First of all, before we do that, I want to point out one article. I'm not going to discuss it really, just give the name of the article. The article is, well, you know what, I don't remember what, I guess I didn't give the full URL. But anyway, from the American Thinker, I'm pretty sure it's from the American Thinker, that the name of the article is Donald Trump is Aaron Burr reincarnated. And just to give you just the gist of the whole thing is that, be sure to read the article, but essentially what he's saying is, what they say in the article is that Donald Trump will not destroy the Republican Party. The Republican Party will somehow survive. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. If it doesn't survive, it won't necessarily be because of Trump. It'll be because of their own stupid, all the dumb things they've done the last few years. They have ticked off a lot of people who used to consider themselves Republicans who no longer want to even use that term. So that being said, let's move on to the debate. Of course, big story this week. One of the big stories too. There were a couple of big ones, and the first one was that Donald Trump was going to quit the debate, and he did. He did not show up for the debate in Iowa, primarily because supposedly he wanted Megyn Kelly out of the lineup for the Fox News debate. Now, since all this has happened, he supposed it was a demand that Trump had, and Fox News would not capitulate. So Trump didn't show up. And since then, Trump has denied that he even suggested that or even asked for her not to be on the debate stage. Now, I don't know who's telling the truth here on this thing. I just know that Trump, a lot of times, he says one thing and then he says another. So I'm not so sure. I don't know about a lot of you people. I mean, Trump is entertaining. I've said this before. Trump's entertaining. I'm glad he's in the whole. I'm glad he ran. I'm glad he's in the debate because he's done some good things. But I'll just be honest with you, Ken, I don't trust the guy when it comes to being A, truthful, and B, what his real positions are on particular issues. He seems to go back and forth on things. And
well, I think I'm in the same ballpark with you. Is that would I take him over Hillary Clinton in a heartbeat? But I don't know the deal maker, the art of the deal guy. That scares me because you be president of the United States and he's going to say, well, the whole thing about being in Washington is to make deals. Well, no, it's not. The whole thing is to be a principled person. And if you're not a principled person, you don't have conservative values at the root of what you're doing, and all you care about is getting deals made. That scares me.
Yeah, I'm afraid he's so intent on doing the deal that he. And here's the thing: I'm not so sure that Trump even knows what he believes. To be honest with you,
well,
because he says one thing and then says another thing. I mean, Have you seen this clip? I don't remember if it's a YouTube clip or whatever it is, but it's a video clip where Stephen Colbert did this video of Trump versus Trump debate. You should watch. You should watch that thing because
he's taking one side of the story, then he's using the other side a couple years later.
Yeah, he acts like he's like asking Trump, what do you feel about this thing, and then Trump says whatever, and then they show a video clip of him saying the exact opposite. Yeah, and they're just a few years apart. In some cases, more than a few years. But I mean, I don't know about you, but for example, let's just take one simple example, like whether or not you're pro-life or pro-choice. Okay, ever since I've been old enough to know what that even meant, I've been pro-life. Period. I've not changed my mind. I'm not going to change my mind at this stage. There's nothing you could say to me that's going to get me to change my mind and become a pro-choice advocate. That's just not going to happen. But Trump has been on both sides of the issue, and I'm starting to wonder, like, how do you do that? I don't.
Do Donald Trump?
Yeah, I don't know. Now I will give Trump credit when he said that he was pro-choice. He said, "I'm very pro-choice" and all this kind of stuff. He said all this stuff. He said he hated abortion. He thought it was horrible. So he hated himself personally. It's kind of like the old thing that a lot of presidential candidates used to say is, "I'm opposed to abortion personally, but I agree it's a woman's right to choose and blah, 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 and so therefore I'm not going to do anything to stop it," kind of thing. And that used to get by for a lot of politicians. They were able to ride the fence like that. And I think that's what Trump was trying to do in the past. Now, supposedly he says he's pro-life. But would he do anything to ban abortion or whatever? I mean, if he had the choice, would he sign a law banning abortion if the Congress were to pass it? Or would he veto that sort of thing? I mean, I don't know. I don't think he knows either, to be honest with you. So, anyway, Trump was not at the debate. He was not center stage. You had a debate with Ted Cruz in the middle of the field on the debate stage, and I thought Cruz did pretty well. Rubio did well. I thought Rand Paul did well, and like I told you before we started, Jeb Bush probably had his best debate of the entire debate season, and I think it's because the bully was not on the playground this time.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to handle the bully.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's Bush tries to act like he's tough and this, that, and the other, but Trump can just dismiss him so quickly and easily. He doesn't know what to do with Trump. He really just does not.
No, he doesn't.
And
when you get away with Bush wants to talk policy and talk about what he did in Florida and over again, and when and Trump just says you're low energy, and that's it. That's all. The game's over.
Well, yeah, he did that, and then like one of the other debates, Bush was a little more agitated, a little more this. He goes, "Oh, I like that, Jip. High energy, way to go," kind of thing. And people just start laughing because he knows how to. That's what Trump does. He tries to make you look like an idiot, and he's good at it. He just he can nitpick. He can find something in your character, in your mannerism, whatever. And he's done that to everybody, whether, just bringing up their low poll numbers or, just,
he is that way, Primo. I mean, he's done it to women, and people overlook that stuff, kind of like Hillary Clinton with overlooking all the crap she's done. You got those people that are just diehard Hillary fans, diehard Trump fans. They overlook all the other stuff that he has really done. That you go, gosh, that's kind of wrong. That's hurtful. That's
yeah.
And talking about Megyn Kelly when he's talking about the blood coming from other places and stuff, and I'm like, geez. I mean, that's.
And then, of course, he acts like he didn't mean that, and blah blah blah. And, he gets away with it. It's just amazing what he gets away with. You and I both know
he meant what he said. He meant exactly what he said.
Yeah, I think very rarely does he misspeak. I just think it's a rare thing.
Yeah.
But back to Trump and the debate performance. Most of these people I think did better with Trump not there. Polls that came out, 2 different polls came out. One poll came out saying that Cruz got a bump of around 5 or 6%. Trump had a loss of 6%. But then another poll came out, I think yesterday, either Friday or Saturday, and it was an Iowa caucus poll, just Iowa only, and apparently Trump actually had a slight gain. So who the hell knows?
But you were asking me, or we were talking about this on Facebook, I think, but I just, of all polls, the Iowa polls to me are you can't trust them because it's not people going to the vote, just casting a ballot. It's the caucuses. So it's a whole different animal. I don't.
They got to show up on a wintry night in some gymnasium or church or something,
and they got to stay there for a while.
They got to stay there for a while. You don't walk in and do your 30-second thing and leave. I mean, you're there for several hours, and so whose ground game has people who are committed enough to do all that? That's the question, and you don't. They say that Cruz has a really good ground game. Now,
we'll
find out on Monday. Actually, it may be several weeks. Like last time, it took 2 or 3 weeks before they found out who actually won Iowa, and it was by the slimmest of margins. But Rick Santorum won the last time, and I think Mike Huckabee won the time before that. And, but apparently, from what I'm reading, is of course Trump, Cruz are both kind of, I think, pretty much neck and neck. And there's rumors, or at least stories, saying that Marco Rubio is getting a big push after this last debate. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think he's still polling at about 15% or something like that. Cruz is around 23, Trump's around 24, 8, or whatever. I don't remember. Depends on which poll you look at. But I would be surprised that Trump would win Iowa simply because of the fact of not showing up for their one and only debate. If I were an Iowan, I would think, screw you, buddy, and I would vote for either Cruz or Rubio or whoever.
Yeah, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, okay, you can't even show up for the debate in my state? Yeah. Then why would I vote for you?
Yeah. Well, you know what's tough for people like me and you, Ken, after you have Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, then you have Super Tuesday. And the problem is that half the time, by the time we get to vote, the people that perhaps we were pulling for are already out of the race.
Yeah.
So, and let's face it, if you're a Republican, you don't really have to come to Tennessee because you're going to win Tennessee. Period. Well, no matter who you are, pretty much for the most part. And I'm sure the same thing for the most part goes for Georgia.
Yeah.
Most southern states, Republicans are going to win those states for most states. Now, the only one that's not true is Florida. It could go either way, but Florida's not really a southern state. The Panhandle is southern. If you've ever been to Florida, which I'm sure, I know you have because you got a condo down there, but what I'm getting at is the Panhandle of Florida is a lot different than the rest of Florida. The Panhandle of Florida is a lot like the South. The rest of Florida is more like a bunch of New Yorkers who transplanted down there. Or Cubans that have moved there and whatever. You basically have a Cuban population and you have a large Jewish population and most people in the southern part of Florida, they're not from Florida. They're from all over the place.
Right.
They kind of whatever. Okay. Next up, we're gonna go to break. But next up, we're gonna talk about Hillary and these emails and. According to Catherine Heritage, Fox News, the Justice Department and the FBI are super pissed off. We'll find out why here in just a few minutes. Thank you for listening to the Red State Town Hall program. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Red State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hi, this is Jeff Carlisi from the band 38 Special. The mainstream media has failed the American people once again. Internet radio networks like Red State Talk Radio will not fail you. Tune in 24 hours a day. Studios A and B. Great conservative programming around the clock. Red State Talk Radio, the dominant force in Internet conservative talk radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom36.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom36.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 36.com. Go to freedom36.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom36.com.
The path to restoring our republic was laid down by our founding fathers. The principles of freedom, liberty, personal responsibility, and limited government are conservative ideals we will never abandon. America is listening. Grassroots, common sense, conservative talk radio. It's on the internet. Tune in now. Red State Talk Radio, featuring some of the most popular internet talk show hosts in America today. Are you listening? RedStateTalkRadio.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-400-1756 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-400-1756 to take your call now. Call 800-400-1756. That's 800-400-1756. Again, 800-400-1756.
Tired of the same old blah, blah, blah of traditional conservative talk radio?
We know that under the 49% rate, the U.S. economy is voting for...
Then tune in to New Media's Talk Monster for grassroots, common sense, conservative talk radio, Red State Talk Radio.
What if all wartime spending is paid for through the deceitful and evil process of inflating and borrowing?
WRS Digital, Cleveland, Tennessee.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now, and in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-554-7159 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-554-7159. That's 800-554-7159.
Tune in to Red State Talk Radio, the new media's talk monster for grassroots.
That's what freedom is all about.
Common sense.
I would be willing to use waterboarding.
Conservative talk radio.
Big spending liberal.
Red State Talk Radio. WRS Digital, Cleveland, Tennessee.
Commerce.
Okay, we're back. Big news on the Hillary front on these emails. There's 22 emails, Ken, that have been identified that are so top secret. They've been identified by the State Department. It's so top secret that these things will never see the light of day. They're not going to be reproduced. They're not going to be included in the Benghazi investigation. They're not even going to redact them with a black magic marker, and they're not going to be seen by anybody. Now, the entire time Hillary has said she did not send, receive any classified material, blah, 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 on her server. Well, if that's true, how come these 22 emails can't even be seen redacted? I mean, we already know that there's been, like, last I looked at, I think it's around 1,600 emails that were supposedly classified that were found on her server. But there's 22 of these that are so top secret they can't even be, nobody can see them.
That's the ones we know of.
Well, yeah, right. And here's the other thing too. I mentioned this to you before we went on the air. There's another story saying there are 18 emails, and I looked at both stories and I could not figure out if the 18 was part of these 22. I honestly don't know if the 18 are part of the 22, but from what I understood, the 22 had to do mostly with emails between Hillary and Sidney Blumenthal. But anyway, there are 18 emails, and I think these are separate emails that are between Hillary Clinton and Barack Hussein Obama. And those things are never going to be seen. Now, remember, this whole email stuff came out because of Trey Gowdy's Benghazi commission, his subcommittee. Wouldn't you love to see those emails from Hillary and Obama? And since we know they were sent during the time of the Benghazi stuff, do you think maybe there's references to what happened that night in Benghazi in those 18 emails? I would think so. I would think the probability is pretty high. I mean, I don't think they were talking about yoga and Chelsea's wedding in those emails. I don't think so. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, seriously. 18 emails, and nobody's going to get to see those. And then we got these 22 that nobody's going to get to see. And I thought this was the most transparent administration in history.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, and I can't see my hand in front of my face.
Yeah. Now, add on top of this, the White House assertion this past week that they came right out and said, Josh Earnest, the White House spokesman, said right out, just straight out, that Hillary Clinton was not the focus of the investigation, of the Department of Justice and FBI investigation, that Hillary Clinton was not a focus of the investigation, and they didn't think she would be indicted. Well, whatever happened to the whole thing of we will not comment on ongoing investigations? This is at least twice that the White House, either Obama himself or his spokesman, has commented on this. And the first time was Obama himself in an interview said that he didn't think there were any national security implications in what Hillary Clinton had done with her email server. Well, that's been proven false about 1,600 times. And even if you forget the 1,600, you got to look at the 22 and the 18, the 22 new ones and the 18 between Obama and Hillary. So, surprise, 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 Obama lied yet again. But secondly, the idea that she's not the focus of the investigation is absurd.
Yes.
Whose server was it?
Yes.
Who was sending the emails back and forth on the server? How the hell could she not be the focus?
How do you have a personal server in the first place?
Well, you're Queen Hillary. You don't have to follow the rules.
And that's what she thinks. That's the whole thing. If she's not indicted, then we are messed up in this country. We are. I don't know why we have to wait so long for the indictment to come down. It really doesn't understand. I mean, to me, it's like the proof's right there now. Maybe they're just trying to finish their investigation. There's so much there they have to go through all of it. But honestly, Primo, if this country, what happens with Hillary will forever determine my philosophy of what this country is and will be in the future.
Well, if she doesn't get indicted, I mean, the evidence is overwhelming. And if she's not indicted, there is no rule of law in this country anymore. I mean, I've been saying this, but before Hillary, I've been saying that the fact that you can come to this country willy-nilly and doesn't matter if you're here legally or not, and all these other things, and the way the Obama administration has been handling all these executive orders, you feel as if there's no rule of law already. But if she's able to get away with this, there is no rule of law. It doesn't, at least there's no rule of law when it comes to certain people in this country. You and I would both be already locked up if we had done what she had done. If we had done half of what she had done.
Absolutely.
Now, let me tell you something. The Department of Justice and FBI, according to Catherine Heritage of Fox News, and there's a video that you can look at that's on, first of all, if you want to catch it, it's on gatewaypundit.com. It's on several other sites too. But Catherine Heritage says her sources at the DOJ and the FBI are, and she said the technical term is super pissed off because of what the White House has done about commenting on their investigation and saying that she's not the focus of the investigation. They're ticked. Well, let me tell you something. Who knows what's going to happen in this whole thing? But pissing off the FBI and pissing off the Department of Justice is probably not a good idea if you want to have a good outcome on this. And here's what's funny. When this stuff came out about these 22 emails that are not going to be divulged, Hillary Clinton's spokesman said that they're asking the Department of Justice and the FBI go ahead and produce those emails because they want to have everything out in the open, which they are basically encouraging the FBI and the Department of Justice to violate federal law, which is what Hillary herself did. It's ludicrous that they would even, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're asking that this stuff come out. Now, I know why they're doing that, because they're wanting to try to act like they're being transparent. But if these things are so top secret, if the State Department says these emails are so top secret they can never be seen, then why would Hillary ask those to be seen? I mean, think about that for a minute. She doesn't care about anything except her own hide. Right?
That's right.
That's exactly what that means. Mm-hmm. Man alive. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to nail her butt to the wall, but if the FBI does not recommend an indictment on her, I don't know what to think. But here's the problem. Even if they do, it's up to the Department of Justice whether or not to press charges and to indict her or not. All the FBI can do is give a recommendation as to what should happen. They cannot indict her themselves.
There's still a part of me that thinks the best thing to happen is this woman stays in the race, because she can't win, Primo. I don't think you can have 60% of the country believe you're a liar and become president of the United States. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't think so. And her being indicted and somehow dropping out of the race or whatever, and Biden and Elizabeth Warren getting in, that could be a different story, because people like Uncle Joe, even though he's crazy.
Yeah, but with all the crap about Hillary's, her scandal. Let's say the FBI gives a recommendation to have her indicted, which I think that's what's going to happen. But the Justice Department, let's say the Justice Department refuses to indict her because Obama's just lets it be known that I don't want her indicted, Well, technically she could stay in the race at that point. But the problem is she would have this FBI investigation hanging over her head, and everyone would know that they recommended she be prosecuted, but the DOJ didn't do it. Now,
is that the way it happens, though? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't. So if the FBI recommends she be indicted, that goes public?
Yes. Yes.
That's the best thing that can happen then. Because that's all that, to me, the DOJ doesn't do it. If she's recommended to be indicted and the DOJ doesn't, then you know that Obama's pulling the strings.
Well, to me, that's even probably a bigger scandal.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that if they don't do it over overwhelming evidence, as you said, then why are you not doing it? Because somebody behind you is pulling your strings. You're a puppet.
Well, the thing is like the why would be simply because it's Hillary Clinton and she, we're just not going to do that kind of thing. And that leads to the whole thing that Carly Fiorina's talking about. She's been talking about the entire campaign, is that, there's rules for one set of folks and rules for another set of folks, and that the Washington elite are supposedly, they think they're better than everybody else, and the rules don't apply to them.
I would love to have Carly debate Hillary, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you love to?
Oh, yeah, but she'd have to win the nomination for that to happen. But
I know, I still would love to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Because Carly's she's a bulldog.
Yeah.
She goes after Hillary better than anybody does. And
think about it. If she's picked as the vice presidential candidate, whoever wins the nomination, if she's picked for the VP spot and she accepts, she would debate whoever the VP person would be for Hillary, and she would not have to go after the VP candidate. She would sit there and go nothing but Hillary, 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 with her vice presidential.
That's what she's doing now.
Well, I know, but it would. Would you not just love whoever her VP pick would be, trying to defend Hillary? Especially if the FBI has investigated this for all this time, and they have determined that she needs to be prosecuted. And again, if they don't prosecute, again, that just proves the point that there are rules for some people and rules for other people. And
who would be Hillary's pick for a VP?
That's a good question. Assuming she survives, would you pick Bernie Sanders? I don't know about that.
You pick Elizabeth Warren? 2 women?
I don't know.
2 women ticket? Interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't think O'Malley stands a chance at all.
No.
But let's be honest. Bernie, he's going to win almost for sure. Bernie's going to win Iowa. Bernie's going to win New Hampshire. Now, when we get to South Carolina, probably not. Like I've said before, Bernie has a distinct voting base. He has college kids, and he has that northeast corridor up there where he's going to do pretty well. You get him outside of that northeast corridor, he's not gonna beat Hillary or anybody else, for that matter, in places like Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Nebraska, Ohio. I mean, he might do well in Minnesota, maybe Wisconsin, maybe. But socialism still a far stretch. At least I think it is. I may be wrong.
90% of your taxes, or you're being taxed 90%. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I just don't think that's not going to fly. I'm surprised anybody's voting for the guy.
Well, somebody actually did some numbers on all the stuff he's promised so far. He's already promised over $18 trillion in free stuff. Which we know there's no such thing as free, and we're all, by the way, we're about to approach $19 trillion in debt. That debt clock on the website, redstatetalkradio.com.
I hate that thing.
Yeah, I know, I do too, but it's damn near about to roll to $19 trillion. So, something else I forgot to put in the show notes, Ken, because I found this out after I sent you the show notes. ABC News has the next debate. It's going to be early part of February, I think the 6th or something like that. Anyway, they're going to have the next debate, and they've already unveiled their criteria, for the debate in New Hampshire. This debate will be held in New Hampshire. According to the criteria, Ken, any candidate who does not finish as one of the top 3 finishers in the Iowa caucuses, or places in the top 6 according to polling done in New Hampshire or nationally, will not qualify for the February 6th debate in Manchester.
Top 6?
Top 6. So you got to be either in the top 3 in Iowa, or you got to be in the top 6 in either New Hampshire or national polls. Which means there will be no undercard debate this time. It'll be gone. At least ABC, that's what they're doing. There's only going to be one debate, and it's only going to have 6 people in it at the most. So that means that a couple people, and Trump says he's going to be in the rest of the debates. So Trump's will be there. And we had 7 people in the top debate this last time, with Trump gone. So if he had been there, we would have had 8. That means that 2 of the people on the debate stage this past week will not be in the New Hampshire debate, period. They won't be there. So there's only going to be 6. So that means it'd probably be, who would be gone? Probably Kasich and either Paul or Bush, I'm guessing.
Interesting. The man with the most money being put off the stage.
Would that not be something that he's not even on the debate stage for New Hampshire, if that were to happen? But now here's the thing. He's probably doing okay in New Hampshire. I've not seen the New Hampshire polls. I need to look those up. But I would think that Bush would do okay in the New Hampshire polls. Now I know that last poll I saw, Trump was way ahead, 20 points ahead of everybody else. I think Cruz was next, and then Rubio. I think I'm remembering this right, and I think Bush was down the list a little bit. But now whether or not he's in the top 6, I don't know. I don't remember. But there's probably a new poll that's coming out this week or next, or not next, but probably this week, that there'll be the final poll for New Hampshire or a final national poll. I'm sure this next week because of Iowa, because Iowa's going to be on Monday. The caucuses are on Monday. So you know there'll be a new poll that'll come out after the results of Iowa are known. So I'm guessing late next week. I'm just guessing. I really don't know. Would that be something? If again, no undercard debate, just the main debate, only 6 people. Should be interesting. Jeez, we only got about a minute left. You got anything else, Ken, you want to bring up?
No, I did like the Rubio line in the debate about Bernie Sanders to be a good president for Sweden.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Christie had another good line, too, about the days of the Clintons being on public housing are just about over. I thought that was pretty good.
You see that post I did with the Josie Wales poster? That they crossed Christie with a Josie Wales poster.
Oh yeah, Josie. No, what's it? Josie Wales.
The outlaw Jersey Whale.
Outlaw Jersey Whale. Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, that's pretty good. You want to take us out, Ken?
If we lose freedom here, there is no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. Ronald Wilson Reagan, our 40th president of these United States.
Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.